Okay, the sole purpose of actually wrapping the architectural film is just to update the look of your subject. So if your subject's fine, I would recommend wrapping it. If not, we can do is prime examples. You can demolish all this, take it to the landfill, go to the store, buy the products, cut it, paint it, or make it, paint it, stain it, and stuff like this. So that's examples. This is wrapping it. It will be a lot faster, a lot cleaner, and you can. There's hundreds and hundreds of different patterns you can choose from, and styles and everything. So in this video down below, there will be a timestamp. I'm going to be showing you how the proper way to prep it out, install it. Lots of tips and tricks. I'm going to be showing you the right tools to use. This is one of the tools we have. It's actually called Architectural Film Squeegees that we make in-house. Put a lot of love in this right here. And so other than that, for the timestamp right here, another example of using the architectural films, you can have a lot of fun with it. Prime example, I can actually, if I wanted to, I can make this section right here like a leather black right here, metallic up here, and I can have like a stone look down here, and also have a fabric look right here. And so that's a prime example, another prime example of using architectural films. And so stay tuned, keep on watching. You're going to learn the proper way to install this, but also lots of tips and tricks. And the reason why you use insert guards before you do this, because if you use insert guards, you can actually later on, you can just pull it off and without damaging anything, and then put a new vinyl up and a new look and a new style, and have fun with this. That's the prime example of making this video. You can check out a lot more patterns on the rmwraps.com website, right there. Also in the link down below, you can learn or you can buy the product here, but also I'm going to show you the tools to use, from the knives to the bodyguard knives to lots of different techniques and styles that I haven't shown before in this video. So let's get learning. Okay, it's prepping out time. This is the most important thing to do before installing architectural films on any surfaces. I like to use Zinsser guards. Zinsser guards is basically a rubber-like material that can dry within 1 day, and you can install the next day. So I like using that. So what I use on this, I use what I call a mini roller, or what I call a weenie roller sometimes, and it's a 6-inch roller. And you apply the Zinsser guards evenly around the surfaces and everything. What I'm installing it on is a raw MDF board, and you can see how it's soaking in like that. So that's a good thing. So once it soaks in, if you need to pull the architectural film or any kind of vinyl off, it will not pull the surface of the MDF board off. It will stay true and solid on there, so you don't have any fibers or anything like that. And later on down the road, if I want to, I can remove the architectural films without damaging the surface of the MDF boards, and then reinstalling brand new or different patterns of film on there. So if you prep it out right, it will last you years and years and years on the surface and everything. So what I like to do is I like to do 1 coat of Zinsser guards. Then I like to do a quick sand and make sure to knock down any high surfaces in the areas and everything like that, and I double check everything. Then I put the last coat right. I put a coat on everything. Then the next day, I like to use wrap the surface with the architectural films. This is the proper way I normally do it when I do any installing jobs. I want to make sure the vinyl sticks really good, and also you can remove it without damaging the surface. That's the purpose of using the Zinsser guards. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing I like to do is I like to build the unit in place. So once it's everything in place, this is actually MDF board, and I use a 3/4 inch thickness of the MDF board. And once everything's in place, and if it's, I double check everything, make sure it's all nice and level and smooth. And if it's not smooth enough where I want it to be, I use spot putty. And spot putty is basically Bondo, and it comes in this tube, and I use a little squeegee or
unit right here, and I spot puttied all of it. I did probably about 2 or 3 coats to make sure it is perfectly level, because you want it, when you're installing the vinyl, you want it completely level, because if not, you can see where it starts and stops. So that's where if you can't feel it, it's perfectly. So that's the next thing I do is I spot putty everything where the joints are at. On this one is just basically this guy right here. These guys are just fine. You won't be able to see that. I made sure I sanded it down. I like using the MDF board because you can actually sand it down to make it nice and level. So once that is all done, spot putty it, I like using Zinsser guards. Zinsser guards is basically a surface prepping material. It's a clear coat, and when you put it on, it dries clear, as you can see, and it's kind of like a rubbery substance, but the vinyl sticks really good on it. So I like to put 2 coats on this. So the first coat, I put it all on there, and then I use actually once it dry for a couple hours, I use a sandpaper, palm sander and a sandpaper, 220 grit, and I get it all down and get it as smooth as possible all over and get it all nice and smooth. And I try cleaning it off as much as possible. And then right before I install the vinyl, I like to use one more coat of Zinsser guards and put it all on there, let it dry for a day, and then the next day you can actually install it, and then the vinyl sticks really good. So I'm going to show you these guys right here. The purpose they're using Zinsser guards because you want the vinyl to stick really good on the products. So anytime I install yacht wraps or plane wraps or commercial uses or like wall wraps and stuff like that, I like using Zinsser guards because when you do the first coat, it sinks in, especially raw wood like this or raw MDF board, it sinks it in, and then the second coat puts another layer on top of that. That's the reason I want to do this. But I want to show you a prime example. I have a 3M testers kit, vinyl testers kit, and this is what we take to any jobs that we are not too familiar with the surfaces and everything. So this is all right here, different kind of vinyls. But this is right here is actually the Di-Noc product. And this is the Zinsser guards on here, just a regular wall wrap right here, and actually a raw MDF board right here. And I'm going to show you prime examples, reason why you want to Zinsser guards it or put a clear coat over it. So the first thing I do is a tester. We put it on. We usually wait 15-20 minutes to do this, and then we're going to do a pull test. And I'm going to show you example of the pull test. I'm going to give you a little closer view right here. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the raw MDF board, and I'm going to show you the pull test right here. Okay, and sorry it's upside down, but I'm just going to show you this anyway. So it is coming off, and it's going roughly about 3 to 4, but you can see it's pulling off that. So you don't want that. And the reason why I use Zinsser guards on subjects like this, on walls and everything, especially on walls, if it has a texture like this, if you use Zinsser guards, you can actually snap off the vinyl and put it right back on. If you don't use Zinsser guards, you can actually pull off the skim coat of the drywall, but also get down to almost raw drywall when you remove the product. So it is really good. I'm going to try to make a video of that, showing a prime example of using Zinsser guards on walls, but also not using Zinsser guards on walls. So this is not on walls, but you can see it's actually lifting off, and it went down to roughly about 3 to 4 on this one right here. Okay, now it's been on there for at least about an hour now, And so I'm going to test it without Zinser guard. There's no Zinser guards on it, just regular wall. And you can see it's just, it's coming off. It's not even going 1. So that's a no-go. If you're going to wrap a wall, you need Zinser guards on there. Okay, the last and not least, we're going to do a test on this one. And this is with Zinser guards. And you can see it's maxed out at 10. So I can't even pull it off without maxing out at 10. You can see that right there. Let's get a little closer view of that. There you go. So it's hardcore 10. So that is a go for wrapping this right here. So that's prime example to put a clear coat or use Zinser guards on a subject like the MDF board or walls or anything like that, any kind of subject right there. Game plan time. So in every job, you want to install it the right way. And on this one right here, there's like a little game plan ahead to how to install it. And you always want to think ahead to install it to make it look as realistic as possible. So to make it realistic as possible, the wood grains will be going this way and this one right here. And wood grain is going to go this way right here. Wood grain going this way, this right here. Also, wood grain is going to go this way right here and this way right here. So on most of the Di-Noc material with the wood grains, it's going the long way vinyl. The vinyl comes 4 feet wide. So this is the 4 feet wide right here. And you can see the vinyl going up and down, we're seeing right here. And this is a 3M product right here. So again, I'm going to think of going this way right here, this way right here, because if you go do it this way and then this way right here, it doesn't look right as the wood grains for a long areas like this. It doesn't look right going up and down, and it'll look kind of weird going up and down right here too. You can do it, but most of the woods out there, the wood grains are going up and down. So if you go to like a Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, or a lumber store, and you're getting a board like this, usually the wood grains are going up and down like this. They're not going this way. So I'm always trying to think of what to do first, and then also. When you're the game plan of this one is doing the bottom one first, and then shoving the vinyl up a little bit right here, going up on this one right here, and then having the vinyl go here and then down, and then having the vinyl go here and then on top of this guy right here. So when you're looking down the vinyl on this, you're not looking on the top edge of the vinyl going like right here. So that's one little game plan right there. Another game plan I'm thinking about doing is doing the vinyl going this way. The line's going this way. So I got to possibly do this guy here, this guy first, this guy here next, this guy here next, and then this guy right here next. So that's the game plan. And then this guy, and then wrapping around here, and then doing here and then going this way at the very end. So that's the game plan for this guy right here. So anytime you have like a cutting station, so I like to have it like in the corner or close by to the section right there. And we can see right here, this is actually a wood grain. So it's WG 1815. And it's a full box right here. And so basically I lift up the lid right here and then I just kind of pull it off, and you can pull it out and see how far you want this done. I can actually put it on that direction this way and going this way. And there's not a lot of tools to use. I like using the squeegees that we make in house, and it's called Architectural Films. This is one of the ones right here. It's worker A. And this is actually a bodyguard knife right here. This is actually a regular knife right here. And a heating gun. And that's basically it for you doing this right here. So this is not much. Oh, and actually a tape measure. So there's not much tools you can use. And this bodyguard knife, you can cut the full wrap if you want, like that. And it doesn't cut you at all. Or you can cut between the vinyl. And this is what I use to what I call, let me show you real quick. So it cuts between the vinyl and the paper. That's seen right here. And that's it right there. So, and I'm going to use these scraps. These are like the first roll, part of the roll. So this is more of a testing scraps and everything right there. So now the point is we're going to do the measurements right there, and we're going to go the short way first, the little be in between people, and then we're going to start cutting the long version of this. So let's kind of get started. Okay, the first areas we're going to do is we're going to do this guy right here, this and this right here. So we'll hit these guys. So I'm going to show you how to wrap it all the way around here and have like a little lip going in and down. So there's no gaps right here, as you can see right here. So let's go over there and cut it. Oh, let's go measure it first. So I like to go 1 inch this way. Just I like to have a little extra. So put 10. Let's see, let's do this right here. So we go 19 deep, and I just like to have a little extra right there, and about, I was going to take about 10 inches. So 19, 10 inches, got it. So make sure the wood grain's going up and down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start all over. I'm going to go right here. Go along the sides. Okay, I said 10 inches. Got 10 inches right there. And I like to do is keep my thumb like right here, and I like to see where my thumb is going right here instead of focusing right here. So you can actually go pretty straight. So that's the little trick you can do right there. So we go 10 inches there. I'm going to do, say 19 right there. So right there, 19. And always keep the scraps somewhere so you can kind of use the scraps later. Believe it or not, there's always little scraps always there. Okay.
Sorry, my mic died on this one right here, so I'll do my best to do on this microphone right here. So on these little guys, I just kind of dry install and see if it looks okay. And again, on these little guys, I like to just pull the backing off. So the one little thing you can fight with is you can kind of guess where the middle part is at and kind of say, it's almost there on the left or right hand side, and it's almost there, but a little tip and trick. What I do is I pull it off, and I fold it right in half, and I pinch it so I know exactly where the middle part is. And then once I pin it, I just kind of aim for that little creased mark area right there and make sure it's nice and level. And you just tack it right on. And there it is right there. And I get as high as you can. So the next thing I like to do is I'll grab my knife, and what I call it, I tee it. What I call it is I cut out, or sideways, I'm sorry, right about there. So I have like a little lip, 1/8 inch lip. And then I tee it right there and do the top part right there next. So that is relaxes the vinyl to get around the corners and everything. So that's what I call tee it. Boom. There it is. There. Now you can kind of see it's relaxed a little bit. Then I take I usually take my thumb. I can kind of feel around there. Usually I go over about 1 inch in. And then once I know it's tacked on, then I take my squeegee and I shove it in there. Now, what I love about the squeegee, it has a pointer, what I call the pointer, and it gets right, see that where it go right in the corner like that. I use that, just get as far as you can into that edge. Now I'm going to use the thickness of the squeegee. I'm going to shove it in there in the edge, down and in towards the surface. And then I'm going to take my knife, cut 1/8 inch thick, so the vinyl is actually on, I guess, the top surface of that shelf. So you can see I'm kind of telling you that it's good to have that squeegee that thickness because it's going down and over. So you're putting vinyl on top of vinyl at the very end of the installing job. So now, again, I'm using my squeegee to shove down or towards the back of the unit and also towards the vinyl surface. So it shoves the vinyl deep into that corner right there properly. So now you got a nice, clean, straight edge all the way around, up and down. That's what you want to be consistent about. I'm showing you the pointer. The pointer is actually shoving that in the deep corner in that part right there. And I'll do the other side next. So at the end of any little section that I install, this is called post-heating. This what it does is the heat activates the glue, but it also softens the vinyl, so it sinks it into the surface a little bit more. And you can kind of see it bubbling a little bit. I like to use my fingers and kind of heat it up and then just push the vinyl down. Sometimes I like to use a squeegee on certain areas, but this is a small section, so I just kind of do it that way. So it's actually very good to post-heat it.
So the next thing we're going to be doing this top part right here. So anytime I cut any of the vinyl, I like to go 1 inch bleed this way, 1 inch bleed this way, 1 inch bleed going up over this way and down this way. And so on this one right here, I want the wood grain going this way. So make it realistic as possible. So what I like to do is, so this is going to be, I'm going to cut the vinyl 54 inches long. And then also I'm going to cut this. Let's go, I like to do 1 inch right this way and this way, so about 21 inches. So going all the way around this way. I'm going to show you how to do this part right here. I'm going to have a lip. I'm going to take the vinyl, shove this right here, and have a half or a quarter inch or 1/8 inch, I'm sorry, going up. So the vinyl is going here and then up a little bit. And I'm going to cut right about here using this squeegee. And also I'm going to show you a little technique right here. So I'm going to go here and then cut right here, like straight down, and then tuck it in and then go that way. So let's go over there and cut the vinyl.
Cutting area. So a lot of times when we go on a job site, usually there's not a lot of space and you can't put like a 4x8 sheet board or table in the area. So the best thing to do is work off the floor. So anytime you work off the floor, I recommend cleaning the floor real good where the area you'll be working at and where you're cutting and everything. Also, I would usually leave the vinyl in that box. You can see I just pull it off. The box usually stays in place. And now what you can do is you do your cutting and measuring right off your floor. And so it's nice and clean. Also, just be careful when you're walking on it. Just don't skid or, just be careful. The tool you'll see I'm using is actually called a bodyguard knife. It's designed to cut the vinyl and the paper, or you can cut between the vinyl and the paper. So you're not actually cutting on the surfaces. You're just cutting the vinyl only or the paper only.
Okay, now you can actually see how the vinyl is as close as to the wall as possible. Okay, so I have to make sure you got enough vinyl going this way, and you have enough vinyl going to the wall and everything. Make sure it's all lined up. Okay. Okay, now what I do is I get the vinyl going, or the squeegee going down and in. So you use your thumb here, and you put your fingers down right here, and get as close as you can to the corners. Okay. Now you take your knife and the squeegee, and usually, whatever direction you're going towards, you put your squeegee like this, so you can pull it like this and push it down at the same time. So you can see right there. So right here at the corner, I want to go a 45-degree angle. Take my knife, get rid of the excess. So I'm taking my knife and at an angle right here, get as much as possible. And you can't feel any lip or anything like that. There's a lip right there. Okay. So you can kind of see right where the metal part is. So that's where I'm going to do it, right in the middle. I'm going to put a T here and then a T down straight, or a straight line down there. I'm going to T it first. Just be careful. And now I'm going to mark it. And I'm not pushing hard. I'm pushing enough just to score it. As you can see, I didn't push all or cut all the way through. You can see I'm just I'm tearing it now. So you just barely touch it. Just it takes a little practice, but you just have enough vinyl or pressure to cut the vinyl and not the other vinyl right here. So it's a little practice to do right here. So now I'm going to tuck it in here.
So what I like to do is I like to pre-cut the vinyl, especially if it goes against the wall or an edge or anything like that. So what you're seeing right here is I'm using actually a bodyguard knife. I'm just cutting just the paper and not the vinyl. And it's about an inch over. And so I'm making that right there. So not a lot of people know this, but you can actually crease the vinyl. So it makes it a lot easier to install and get to the edge of the, prime example, I'm doing right next to the wall. So it's going to bump up right next to the wall, and I'm not going to be fighting with the vinyl. I'm just going to tack it right on to the wall, or the crease will go against the wall, and then I'm going to cut the excess off once I get done with that. So this is one little technique not a lot of people know, but I do it all the time. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm drying, installing it, and making sure it fits good, the height of it and everything. Make sure it covers the height and also the width and everything. It should do the width and everything. So I just, after I check it, I just pull the backing down. I usually do like a foot or two, just enough where I know it's sticky enough to tack on. Grab my foot, kind of shove it in the corner down below. Then I'm tacking it on to the top part right there and making sure the crease is right in the edge of the corner. Then take my squeegee and then I start squeegeeing it on, making sure it goes. I'm pulling a taunt down below so it's more level. And I'm shoving that squeegee in the corner or against the wall. And this is where you can just pull the backing off. Instead of fighting it, you just kind of pull it off. I lift up the vinyl just enough for it's not touching the surface. And I squeegee it all the way down, get right to the edges and right there. So once I know it's all tacked down, what I now is already removing the backing of that 1 inch strip right there. So I can actually shove the vinyl into the edge of the unit. Okay, so using your Architectural Films Squeegee, you can shove that vinyl as far as you can into the edge of the wall versus the subject and get it tight. And so when you have an area right there, I recommend just cutting it little pieces at a time, tucking it in. Use the Architectural Film Squeegee where that pointer part, we call the pointer part is. Also, just making sure all the vinyl's down. So that squeegee is 1/8 inch thick, and it's a perfect thickness. And so it grabs the surface, but also a little bit onto actually the floor right there. And also vice versa, it's going to grab onto the section of the wall too. So use the thickness of the squeegee because you don't want to get like deep, right, edge to the surface or to the MDF board. So I'm making sure the vinyl is tucked in nice and tight. Use that squeegee, walk it down. That squeegee is nice and smooth and the edges are really smooth. So no chances of actually grabbing, removing that right there. So it's a nice evenly cut. That's what we're looking for, is evenly cut onto a little bit onto the wall. So right now I'm seeing where the corner is at, and just kind of pinching it or pushing that vinyl in. So I'm making sure that's exactly where it needs to be. And then I'm cutting it straight as I can towards the outside. Now I'm taking a little vinyl or the knife and cutting out the excess right there. Same thing, I'm gonna go right to the edge and go straight up. I'm taking my thumb. I like to use my thumb because I can actually feel if there's any creases or air bubbles in that little tight little areas. So now I'm kind of debating where I should cut it. If I should cut it like going straight up or straight right there. So that's what I did. I'm gonna lift it up. Now I'm gonna use my knife along the edge of that MDF board and just cut where that part is right there. Take your time. Now, just use your thumb. I use usually thumb, and those little sneakers are always grabbing on me, so try to get it out of the way. So the reason why I did that, because I want the vinyl to loop on the other side, but tuck it underneath the ledge. So right now I'm just kind of taking my squeegee, trying to do my best I can to get it tucked in there. There you go. I'm gonna take my pointer of my squeegee. You can see how I shoved it in that corner, the pointer. Now I'm gonna try to get that vinyl into that little groove area. That's the reason why I cut that where I needed to cut it. So I'm trying to shove it as far as you can. And there's trying to do my hands. I can kind of fill it in there. And I saw one little mistake I did. I should have cut that little section right there. It's my fault. So I should have cut that before I tucked that in. But the beauty of using architectural films, that actually disappears because the vinyl's thick enough, we won't see it. So now I'm taking my squeegee, the thickness of the squeegee, so the vinyl is on that front surface, but also behind that edge. So you have like a little lip. Same thing I'm doing right now. I have like a little slight 1/8 inch lip vinyl going in. So there'll be vinyl on top of vinyl once I get done with the other section part right there. Sometimes I like to save some scraps, so I just put it right there. And actually I use it on the other side, the left side of the hanging tree box. So I'm going to make sure everything is nice and level, taking the extra scraps off so it's nice and tight, evenly all the way around. That's what I'm aiming for right there. And get my little pointer from my squeegee. I have a little extra little vinyl right there. I just want to make sure everything is nice and level, or evenly cut if you want to call it. Okay, now those little guys always bug me. So I'm gonna usually you can take a heat gun and then you'll sink it in even more, and that's at the end of the installing job. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to tuck it in. Okay, I'm feeling where that the crease or that gap is at right there. You can kind of see it in the sun. So I like to push the vinyl in a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna push that in, go straight down, just to relax the vinyl so actually I can tuck that vinyl into, there we go, into the shoe rack holder. Okay, now I'm going to use my thumb. Again, I like to feel where, if there's any creases, and I can kind of feel where the edge or the corner, the inner corner, if you want to call it, is at. There we go. And then in the middle, right where your part is, I'm going to push that in so you can actually see where the corners are at. I'm going to cut that just where that little area is, the way. And then I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right between the shelf, just hard enough you can cut the vinyl, not the subject. It takes a little practice. Same thing. I'm just going to cut straight down on this one right there. I can see where the section is at. And then right in the middle again. As you can see, there you go. Now you can just kind of tuck that guy in there and grab the squeegee. Same thing. I like to use my thumb to start out the first inch. And just take your pointer on the squeegee. I do love that thing. I just shove that vinyl in that edge. It makes it a lot easier using the pointer. Same thing right there down below. Okay, in this point in the video, I'm just gonna sit back and let you guys enjoy or learn this process that I go through installing the product on the surfaces and everything. And go to the end of the video and you can see the end product, night, day, with the lights and everything. And yeah, sit back, enjoy, and learn. I'll just remind you there's a timestamps down below again. So there's lots of little tips and tricks that I've done forward on this video, and you can jump right to it if you just go in the description box down below and just kind of click on the timestamps and go from there.
Huh? Okay, Google, turn the bar lights off.
Sure. Turning off 2 lights.
I know. It's the old-fashioned way. You have to twist it off. It's the old-fashioned way.
I tried, but it didn't work.
You twist the knob.
Yes.
So what I'm going to be showing you is the inside back wall of the cabinetry, or the, where you call it, the shoe rack thing. So what I like to do is 1 inch cut on just the backing only, and go all the way around. And with the purpose of that is I'm going to crease the vinyl, so it makes it a lot easier to install the vinyl in the cubby hole, if you want to call it. And here's a prime example. I'm creasing it nice and straight. I'm going to do all 4 sides. Actually, I'm just going to do 2 sides right now. And then what I'm going to do is what's called tacking on strip. I'm going to do a 1 inch strip. I'm going to remove it and then move it to this guy right here. And I'm just going to shove that vinyl in there, making sure it's looped up enough, up, down, and left and right. So I'm just kind of, it's sliding nicely in there, so I'm not fighting with the vinyl if it's not been creased. That's one good technique that I've learned over the years, is doing this way. Thank you for watching this video. I know it was a long video. We get requests every once in a while to show us all the little tips and tricks. And the reason why we do this is because I know you guys can do it. And what you can do is you can order the material off the armwrapstore.com website. I recommend ordering samples first before you do it, and then ordering the product, the rolls and everything. So hopefully you learned, enjoyed, and hopefully you can start doing your own little projects using the architectural films. This is nighttime and daytime on the right hand side.